way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let-me-block-your-blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
If you have not been tuning in before, my goodness, you've missed out on a lot. Broke boy, but with potential. What made you realize this soft life is for me?
I deserve it. Because main money is special. I'm single.
But you don't like to be alone now. I'm looking for a guy to break my heart.
Well, as long as they're Nigerians now.
Watch Slay Queen Nigeria, only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke. We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff. No filters. Just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here this evening. Thank you for joining us on the stream. It is September 18. And tonight we're going to have a good one for y'all. You know, we're going to talk about something Dr. King says, something these folks say all the time. You notice that they always say that, oh, well, Martin Luther King said judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. They always say that to black people. We calling out the anti-black racism, right? Right? That's the only time they want to say that. But they have proven that they're not capable of judging anybody by the content of their character. So we're going to get into a little of that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, last night, we did not stream here. We streamed on the African Diaspora News Channel app. I got a question somebody asked. They said they couldn't find the app in the App Store. It's not under ADNC. It's under African Diaspora News Channel. If you just start typing it out, it pops up pretty quick. I saw definitely on the App Store and also Google. So you type in African Diaspora News Channel. And we didn't do that last night. We talked about Trey Reed. We didn't do that here because I would have to go through so many hoops just to even talk about it. And I just didn't want to do that. So I said, you know what? We just do that on the app and we can talk freely. You know, if y'all saw it last night, you know, I was going in last night about these folks, right? You know, if you saw it last night. So if you have not saw the stream from last night, download the ADN's African Diaspora News Channel app. Download it. At minimum, get a monthly, right? $9.99 a month. That's like supporting us 31 cents a day. I mean, that's not really much, 31 cents a day, right? And you can help us continue on the mission of what we're doing, trying to inform black people, not only right here in America, but all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining us tonight. Now, a few things. My brothers and sisters in Canada, we're working on it. Toronto will be next year. We looking probably more so like about June or so, somewhere around June. So be on the lookout because I know y'all wanted to see me in Canada, so I'm going to be there, Toronto. And then also Johannesburg, we're going to do something there too. And, New York City, I'm going to come to you first on the leg here in the United States, all in 2026. So be on the lookout for sure. You know, the other American cities I'll probably announce, but definitely New York will be the first stop. It has to be. New York has showed us so much love on this platform for years. So we got to kind of, show up over there. All right. Cause we got to, just get this show on the road, right? Got to do that. Outside of that, those of you who are, oh man, I went blank here for a minute. I knew it was something I was going to say. Don't you hate when that happens? You got 1,000 things in your mind, and then you just like, man, what I was going to say here? It'll come back to me. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm not going to take too much of your time, because, hey, I got other things I need to do too, right? All right. So we always hear, and even they homeboy from Turning Point, he had even quoted that from Dr. King before. You see some of the most anti-black racists always want to quote Dr. King in relation when we're calling them out on their anti-black racism, right? Now, based off of what I know about history, we talking about after Dr. King. Let's throw away everything before Dr. King, right? Because he wasn't there to say judge people by the content of their character and the color of their skin. We're going to get into a wordplay tonight, too, with that. Let's say after Dr. King. They, not one day, has been capable of practicing what Dr. King said to do. They quote it, but let me give you an example. That's like telling somebody go on a diet and then you right after you tell somebody to go on a diet, you go eat a tub of ice cream. And then the person you told to go on a diet, they be like, okay, you telling me I need to go on a diet, but why are you eating a tub of ice cream? Shouldn't you be practicing what you telling me? You know what I'm saying? You look at that person funny. Or if a person tell you, well, you shouldn't be cheating in your relationships. And then you look up, they cheating every 5 minutes. Like, how you telling me about that? And you know what I'm saying? It's extremely hypocritical. But it's not even about hypocrisy. It's like you're just not even capable of it. Why you're not capable of it? We're going to explain why you're not capable. We're going to explain why. Because we're going to get spiritual also tonight. Because see, here you get information, news, but also you can get some spiritual insight at times, right? And because these people say they're Christians, then I have to do some spiritual insight so they get it, right? Because they claim they're Christians. Okay, I'll give you some Christian insight since you should say you're some Christians. Now, let's look at just a textbook definition real quick. Let me pull it up. Of content of character. And we have the breakdown of it here. Let me go down here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go on the screen. Now, the phrase content of character refers to a person's intrinsic moral and ethical qualities, such as honesty, integrity, kindness, and courage, which black people have all of that, rather than their external characteristics like skin color, ethnicity, or physical attributes. Once again, the content of character refers to a person's intrinsic moral and ethical qualities, such as honesty, integrity, kindness, and courage, rather than external characteristics like skin color, ethnicity, or physical attributes. Now, say Martin Luther King Jr. used this phrase in his I Have a Dream speech to express his hope for a society where people are judged by their inner virtues and ethical conduct rather than their racial background. Now, they say broke it down here and says breaking down the meaning, character. This refers to a set of attributes that define a person, including their moral and ethical makeup, their inner values, and the way they behave. Content, in this context, content means substance, essence, or core of something. Content of character together, it means the internal qualities and values that guide a person's actions, such as being honest, trustworthy, respectful, responsible, fair, and courageous. Okay? Now, to say why it's significant. Dr. King's vision for a society where these internal qualities are prioritized over external appearances, promoting true equality. Now, a moral foundation. We have been the moral compass of America. So this only could come from the moral compass. Moral foundation. Judging people by their content of character implies a focus on their actions, thoughts, and beliefs, which are seen as more meaningful and enduring than physical traits. Now, beyond superficiality, the phrase serves as a call to look beyond surface level differences like skin color and to understand and appreciate the depth of a person's moral and ethical being. In essence, content of character means judging a person by their fundamental goodness and ethical standards as opposed to superficial characteristics. So now we have just a reference point that we have here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we can literally just ride all day on this screen, literally, and break down how these folks can't even do any of this, okay? But we'll get to more and more what we need to cover here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I'm not going too fast for you. I hope you're following me. Those of you in the back, please listen. Please listen. Do I got to ring the bell for you? Hey, we talking, all right? Now, on top of that, you look at what's happening today. Everything with them is skin color. Even their hero, right? They new hero, a homeboy from Turning Point. Everything he talked about was skin color. Nothing about character, anything. And if he tried to talk about somebody's character, it was skewed through the lens of color, because that's their hero, right? That's their spokesperson. He couldn't see nothing but color. Then they lie to you and say, I don't even see color. You are lying, the truth not in you. Everything you see is a color. That's all you see. You're not capable of seeing nothing else but somebody's color. If it's not somebody's color, it's somebody's religion. It's somebody's what country they from. It's something physical. It's never nothing like they say the internal qualities of a person. Are they good? Are they a bad person? Whatever, right? You're not even capable. Now, let me get to the 7 things real quick. Seven points. Now, when it comes to us, they believe criminalization before a character, so Black Americans, are disproportionately stopped, searched, and arrested for the same behaviors that them folks get warnings for. And we know that to be true. Before anyone hears our names or stories, we're judged as suspects because of our skin color. Once again, they're not capable of judging anybody, not just black folk, anybody by the content of their character, but they're only capable of judging by the color of our skin, and it still happens today in 2025. Are you following me, ladies and gentlemen? Are you following me? All right. Now let me know if you need me to stop. The second point, welfare and laziness stereotypes. Let's go there. Them folks often push the narrative that Black Americans want handouts, ignoring data that most public assistance recipients are white. Instead of judging by work ethic or contribution, skin color gets weaponized as a political talking point. How many times have they talked about the welfare queen, and they try to make the welfare queen the black woman? The welfare queen in America is the white woman. That's the welfare queen. But understand, they cannot speak the truth because they speak with the tongue of their father. And it's not that father in heaven. If you speak with the tongue of liars, you speak with the tongue of your father, the devil, Satan. That's what Jesus said, not me. I didn't come up with that. Hey, they say they're Christians, so hey, they can recognize that. And they shouldn't want to speak with the tongue of a liar, right? Because the devil was a liar from the beginning. Because there's no truth in him. Now let's get to another point. Voting suppression. Let's get to that point. Black communities have faced targeted voter ID laws, polling place closures, and purges, which we still seeing today. The assumption is not about character or honesty, but about limiting the political power of black skin. Let me tell you when these voter ID laws showed up, and it was completely racial. I don't care what they say. Oh, we should be IDing people to make sure illegals not voting. See, a person like myself who don't drink, who don't smoke drugs, who don't take no kind of drug, okay? Thank God I don't have those vices. The voter ID thing came in Republicans after when Barack Obama got voted in. The Republicans were so shocked that so many black people mobilized themselves to go vote in the democratic process for Barack Obama. They were like, oh no, we got to come up with voter ID. We got to do something to stop all this. This is when they started attacking the Voting Rights Act. And it was all done by skin color because they don't want black people to have no political power. That has always been their thing in America, to not have black political power, because if you get political power, then you're going to get economic power. That's the way that works. So they got to stop black political power. So they try to cripple your way to vote, cripple your way to have positions in the government. They like to cripple that much as possible. Gerrymandering is one way they do it. Gerrymandering was specifically created to cripple black people, based on color, nothing else, from having political power. That is a relic during the time of slavery. And it still happens in 2025. Democrats and Republicans aren't trying to get rid of it. It should be illegal to gerrymander. It should be illegal that the party in control of a state, they can do the maps. No, that's not even fair. It should be an independent board that does the maps, that has all political parties, I mean all of them that's represented in that state, have a person, and they all do the maps. That's how it should be. And it should be equal and fair for all political parties. But you have to understand, these folks didn't build a system on truth, righteousness, equality, fairness. No. They built a system on lying, cheating, stealing, undermining. That's how they built their system. And people say, well, look at what Trump's doing. And everything's crumbling so fast. The reason why things are crumbling so fast with Trump, because you didn't have a system that was built on the rock. Remember what Jesus taught? Come on, where you Christians at? You build your foundation on the rock. White supremacy was built on a foundation of sand. It shouldn't take 8 months or 9 months to cause this much damage in the country. It lets you know your quote unquote democracy wasn't built on the rock. Because if something's built on the rock, nobody can just tear it apart that quick. They couldn't tear apart your relationships all over the world that quick. They couldn't erode the Constitution that quick because it was never built on anything solid. White supremacy is a lie. They got to keep going. In a system, they got to keep going. And anything that you build on lie, cheat, stealing, oppression, unrighteousness, sin, is never going to hold up. You got to build your stuff in honesty and truth. And doing right by God and righteousness, you got to do it. That's the only way to build something up. It may take a little longer to do it that way, but at least it'll last. And that's what you're seeing right now, folks. Why your system is crumbling? Because all of you participated in this system. All of you. It don't matter about no political party. Because you have benefited from this system, but you're seeing how Trump and his crew is literally tearing it down for their benefit. Because they're not tearing it down to hurt them. They're literally, Trump and all his billionaire buddies, they trying to have the biggest wealth transfer ever at the expense of a lot of you. They setting themselves up to have all kind of money. And they don't care if the country go broke, as long as they're good. Now, folks, in European history, right? I thought you left Europe to get away from that. Because you claim the king and the monarchy was stealing your money. Y'all was poor. They had everything. And you wanted to leave Europe because of the monarchy and they would let you practice your religion and all that. So you wanted to leave to go to the new world for a better life. And you came over here the way you did. And you fast forward from the time they got here to now, you literally recreated the monarchy. And the same problem that you had in Europe overseas. I told you, people cannot escape who they are and their culture. They can't do it. I told you it's more about culture than anything else. Because when you have a person leave Europe and come do the same thing here in America, they leave Europe, go do the same thing in South Africa. They leave Europe, go do the same thing in Latin America. That's a culture at that point. That's not a location thing, an environment thing, or individual thing. It's a culture. And that's why we teach culture here. We don't teach just isms. We teach culture. Bam Bam say they're losing this country at their own hand, not our hand. They're destroying it, not us. And they're so frustrated, and let me tell you why they're frustrated. They're frustrated because they got everything they want, but they're not fulfilled. So they're angry and they want to attack something or somebody, preferably us. They preferably attack us. But if they can't find a legitimate reason to attack us, they're going to start attacking their own. You understand? And there's a big divide in their community right now, a huge divide in their community. And I say, this is good for black people. Because when they united, we always get in trouble. When they divided, I think that's a great thing for black people. They keep saying we need to come together. When they say we need to come together, and they're talking about coming together with me and you. When you hear them saying that, the Democrats, some of them say we need to come together, we need to figure something out. They're not talking about me and you. They're not talking about other groups either. They're talking about themselves. Because they say, wait, this not going to last. White supremacy is not going to work. It's going to fall if we too divided. We got to get on one accord with this thing. But they're saying statements like, I don't want nothing to do with the liberal. I can't stand them, this and that. I'm like, man, y'all talking crazy. But hey, nothing to do with me. I don't feel that way about my brothers and sisters. We fine. Now, y'all all right over there? Y'all all right? All right, cool. Yeah, you say in Richard Spencer, you say a long time they don't believe in fairness 100%, right? They don't. Some of y'all silly to believe they do, but they don't. Now, number 4, cultural demonization. Hip hop, natural hair, our fashion, speech patterns, AAVE, as they get labeled as ghetto or unprofessional. But our culture is attacked first, while our white counterparts can adopt those same styles and get praised as being innovative. And we've seen this so many times before. Remember, it's about skin color, right? It's not about anything else. What it says is you're so envious of us that you like it, but because our skin tone, you don't want to give us no praise for it. Now, let's get to the next thing. Economic gatekeeping, which is something that I have more of a thing about, because I know everything is economics. Black entrepreneurs and homeowners are judged by appearance, and that's completely true. I say before business plans or credit histories. And from bank loan denials to property devaluations, and we've seen a lot of lawsuits about property devaluations. We've seen this. Skin color often determines financial opportunity, not character or competence. Which is 100% true. I told y'all before, if I was white, they'd have been throwing millions of dollars at me already. Trust me. If for nothing else, AfroWire AI would have, because usually they say, oh man, that's crazy. I want to put in millions of dollars on that. That's how they get down. A white guy have a small idea. Like say your boy Turning Point. They gave him $4 million in college. Dude come up to him and say, hey man, I want you to start this organization and I want to help you. I'm here. I'm going to give you $4 million. That's how they get to where they at. And that's all about skin color. But with black folk, you can't even get a loan. You in business and you can show you making money. And you can't get a loan a lot of times. Homeowners want to get a loan. You're denied for the smallest things. That's all sabotage, economic sabotage of black people. And it's all about our skin, not a credit score, not payment history, not education. These people aren't capable of judging us by the content of our character, only by the color of our skin. All right? Let's go to number 6 here. Education and discipline. Now, black children are punished more harshly in schools for the same behavior as their white peers. The judgment is not based on their character or potential, but skin color, which brands them as trouble early. The first time I ever noticed racism, beyond with you, was when I went to school. Prior to that, I didn't really know much about racism. I grew up in a black community, around black people, didn't know nothing about racism. I remember that I would get in trouble for talking, but the white boy and white boys wouldn't get told anything. I got to write lines, but the white boys didn't have to write lines. And I called it out as a kid. I'm like, well, why he ain't got to write anything? He's talking too. Shouldn't he be writing lines with me? And they make excuses for him. And I never understood. And as a kid, I always called out hypocrisy with anybody. Say this, no, how is it? Y'all treat me different. And that's when I started learning about racism is in school. That's my first interaction with racism. Is that's why they grew up the way they do, is because they can do whatever they want. And as a black person, even if you speak up for yourself, oh, you're a troublemaker, you're this and that, I'm going to send you to the office, I'm going to do this, because you're defending yourself. So wait a minute. I'm not saying that I didn't do anything wrong, but let's go on and equalize the consequences. Don't sit up here and put it back all on me, and then he don't get anything. And then if you do say something to him, he just crashed out, and so you had no choice but to. This is why I'm a firm believer of, if I had it my way, no black child would be instructed by any of them or underneath no administrator of them. They'll be all in the black schools, black teachers, because you can't learn right when people won't treat you right and look down on you for your skin tone. That's just a reality. Now, let's get to the next point. The good black versus the bad black in politics, right? So them folks will uplift, especially the MAGA, will uplift a select few black figures who echo their talking points. Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, people like that, Myron Gaines. They say ask the good ones, right? While dismissing the broader community as race hustlers or criminals. You know, I've been called by them folks so much, oh, you're a race hustler, you're race baiting, you're race this. I'm like, you created race. You created it. Prior to you coming on the scene, nobody even looked at race. People divided on religion, tribe, different ethnicities, whatever. But nobody looked at nobody's skin and say, I don't like him or her. I want to fight him or her. I want to oppress him or her, because they're a different skin color. They're a different race. They say character becomes irrelevant. Loyalty to whiteness determines worth. Now, the immigrants come into this country and they see all that. So a lot of the immigrants do, not all, but a lot of them do. They say, let me try to join this whiteness because I don't want them to treat me like they're treating them black people. But now they're starting to see, when white supremacy is starting to close the ranks, which they're doing now, they're not having too much room for all these others. Like all these others you see around, even Trump right now, eventually they're going to have to go, because if they get more deeper and deeper going to extremism, you can't have all these other, these bootlicks around you, no matter what they are, right? So anybody you see, like, old boy, I don't know if y'all saw old boy was doing a testimony to Cash Patel about the Epstein files. I'm like, man, show me somebody. I got to do a stream on that tomorrow. Y'all got to see this dude. I mean, this dude literally gave it away about the Epstein files without answering questions. This dude literally gave it away, but we'll cover that tomorrow. Now, so they're not capable, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all okay over there? You say Tatum actually said he was one of the good ones. Of course he said that. Of course. If I got to tell another man I'm a good one, it lets me know I'm a slave. So basically he's admitting I'm a slave because I'm telling another man that I'm a good one. That's what a slave would say on a plantation. Master, I'm a good slave, master. I'm not. You ain't got to worry about me escaping. I'm a good one, master. That's exactly what he just said. You might well go and put him on a plantation. Tatum would be an overseer on a plantation. He'd be the Stephen, right? That's what he would be. And he would be so happy and do a great job as an overseer. He'll run the house. He'll keep all the black people in line. He'll make sure that the slaves are beaten and harmed when they need to be. He'd be right there. That's that. I told y'all, you have descendants of the courageous and descendants of cowards and sellouts in our group. And I promise you, if you look in his family line, you're going to find that. You don't really escape your lineage. No matter your family line, you don't escape it. if you can't escape certain health conditions from your family line, then how is it you won't escape certain character and sellout flaws that's in your community, that's in your particular family line? Everybody want to think that they come from some courageous people. A lot of you don't. Some people are afraid. Some people are cowards. Some people just want to go along and get along. They did that during slavery. I'm not going to say much. Let me just go ahead and get my work done, and hopefully they won't beat me today. You know, just like today. Well, I'm not saying about these people, these white folk, because I don't want no trouble. Same thing. Same thing. Not everybody wanted to be free off the plantation. Just like you got a lot of black people today don't want to be free. They just want to be comfortable on the plantation. That's for a lot of you, actually. You just want to be comfortable. You don't really want to be free. And then you had the slaves back then say, hell no. Master go to sleep tonight. It's on and popping. I'm burning the whole plantation down with him in it. That's the truth. That's not a lie. Everybody was not about the business. Why do you think Harriet Tubman had to carry that gun for? Not so much as she worried about them folks getting her, but she knew about some of y'all in the past was going to be cowards and go run back and tell Master what she was doing. She got that. She knows some of y'all get afraid. Some of you say you want freedom. You want to do this, you want to do that, but then when it's time to start doing it, oh, I don't know about that. I think it's a little easier to go back to work over here. Same thing. Nothing has changed. Yo, you are the same. Now, this person by animation and art, don't come in here advertising your services. You go do that somewhere else on your own time. We're not even looking for that. Now, what ended up happening? Now let's go scripture wise, right? Well, when a people are like the folks, what does God do to people like that, who cannot do what's right, who refuse to do what's right before God? What do God do to those people? So some of you people that know the Bible, what does God turn them over to? Do y'all know? What does God turn them over to? And you even seeing manifestations of this. What in the world is that? You seeing manifestations of that today. What does God turn them over to? I know y'all. Now come on. I know some people that read the Bible in here. What type of mind? There you go, Eric. Now, to further explain some of this, I have your friend, LaSherica. LaSherica is going to help explain just a little bit about this, right? So let's cue up LaSherica. And where is she at? There we go. Get LaSherica on here.
The reprobate mind, as described in Romans 1:28, is when God gives people over to their own corrupted thinking because they've persistently rejected truth. The Greek word adokimos means tested and found worthless. It's a judicial hardening where the ability to discern right from wrong becomes severely impaired. Scripture shows this happens in stages, first suppressing obvious truth, then believing lies, finally reaching a point where the mind can no longer function properly in moral reasoning. It's not just being wrong, it's being unable to recognize you're wrong. 2025 MAGA manifestations. We're witnessing textbook symptoms. Complete rejection of verifiable facts about election integrity, January 6th events, and constitutional principles. There's an inability to process contradictory evidence. When presented with documented proof, the response isn't reconsideration, but deeper entrenchment in conspiracy theories. The psychological markers are clear. Calling evil good and good evil, defending the indefensible, and making moral compromises that would have been unthinkable years ago. Truth becomes whatever serves political loyalty, regardless of evidence or consequences. Bottom line, this isn't mere political disagreement. It's a spiritual and psychological condition where the capacity for sound judgment has been systematically eroded through persistent truth suppression. The remedy requires both divine intervention and courageous truth-telling from those still capable of clear thinking.
All right. Thank you, LaSherica. All right. So they have been turned over to a reprobate mind. That's why you can't talk to them. This is why, I've said it. A lot of them just can't be redeemed by the Lord because it's a choice they made. It's not that I'm just saying it. It's clear cut in the decisions they're making. When you see how they're just going full throttle into just savagery, going full throttle into sin, they're being open about it, right? They're being proud to say the N-word and saying I don't feel white guilt, and all the things that they're saying is that they are full throttle into a reprobate mind at this point. And when someone's in a reprobate mind, it's nothing you can do. And that's why I don't waste my time trying to debate with them, trying to convince them of anything, because I can literally see it and hear it. You know in the spirit. That's why they're so angry. You understand? They're angry because they just been turned over. And they have no happiness and no fulfillment. They have none. They literally got everything they wanted, and they're still angry. They're angrier now than what they were. Now, they claim that if Trump would have gotten office, they would have got and got the Republicans in there, they'd have been happy. Okay, they got it. You think they'll be the happiest people in the world. Nobody's over there happy. Because you will not enjoy sin and unrighteousness. God would never let you enjoy it. It will be empty. It will be not fulfilled. And the constant weight of your sin is not only on you, but the whole world is seeing it in real time. You have to understand, the whole world is seeing everything they are doing, and the whole world is saying, what's going on in that country? What's going on in the United States? What happened to them? To my friends, to my global friends in all countries, what happened? We warned them all this stuff will happen about the way they get down. See, they will go to your countries and lie to you about this democracy and all this other stuff. They never believed in democracy. They never believed in freedom. Because if that was the case, we would have had every freedom and being the experience true democracy, right? And Black Americans have been suffering for hundreds and hundreds of years in this country. They're not capable of that. You understand? This is why they can go drop bombs or whatever and don't even and eat dinner like it ain't nothing. This is why they can say it's justified. They believe they can justify taking of innocent lives because they say, like they have fashioned themselves as a god. You understand? Only a god can say whose life is valuable and whose life is not valuable. This is why when they talk about the 10 Commandments, I just kind of roll my eyes about it, because the first commandment is to say, "No, have no other gods before me," and they have fashioned themselves as a god. You understand? They look at themselves as a god to determine who lives, who dies, who can have economic prosperity and who can't. Give an example. Sanctioning countries because you don't like what they did. Threatening to sanction countries. Prime example, they're threatening South Africa. Zimbabwe. You know why they got sanctioned? Because how dare they take their land back from these white folk and give it back to black people. That's how they got sanctioned. And they have been sanctioned ever since Robert Mugabe did. Robert Mugabe isn't even here anymore. And they still have Zimbabwe under economic sanctions. Now, what do? They take them out the SWIFT system. Now, the SWIFT system is with global payments that connect you to every country, right? And what they do is they basically tell the SWIFT system, hey, this country is banned, and if any country want access to the United States through the SWIFT system, you got to ban this country. And also they made the SWIFT system have a server here that they can monitor by global payments in the United States. Did you know that? So everybody want access to the American economy, because a lot of people make a lot of money that way. So the SWIFTs be like, okay, yeah, hey, this country, okay, we cut them off. And they get cut off from the SWIFT system. Now they cut off from global payments. This is why a lot of countries have been trying to go to crypto and other forms of payment to get around it. See, they cut Russia off of that, but see, Russia figured it out. They figured it out. And that's what made them mad, that they figured it out and went all the way around them. You understand? So it's not right to cripple look, okay, you want to cripple a whole country and put people in poverty where they can't get any, because if any country, let's say, give them a loan, then they say, okay, if you help them, I'm going to sanction you too. That's not right. Is that Christian? Would Jesus do that? Would Jesus deny somebody some food, and then if somebody was going to help that person, would Jesus walk up to them and say, and if you give them a morsel of food, watch what happened to you? Would Jesus do that? Jesus wouldn't do that. Y'all always talking about Jesus, and Jesus would never do nothing. Jesus said, treat your neighbor and love your neighbor, right? Treat your neighbor as yourself. Would you want somebody doing that to you? But what's happening right now? The Western world is crumbling. France is in collapse. It's in free fall. Why France is in free fall? Because the African continent cut them off. And you know who got that ball rolling? Captain Ibrahim Traore. Him and the other brother in Mali and the other brother in Niger, and they got the ball rolling. And since France been cut off, they literally needed the African continent to survive. They have their first world life sucking money from the African continent. Now they've been cut off from all that money, and that's why the economy is in free fall, literally. Like, why would you even do something like why would you not be a good partner to the African people? But they so arrogant, and they think they can just steal from the African people and do whatever they want to the African people. But you know what? Nothing stays the same. My grandmother always said that nothing stays the same. And every dog got his day, but she always said that too. And in the Western world, I saw another guy from the UK talking about how the UK is about to collapse too. And they gonna be needing people. Like India right now is in trouble. They running to Africa. Everybody running to the African continent, trying to get in over there. Why? Because it's so much resources and opportunity. That's why these nations want to run to the African continent. But then you have some of my people, unfortunately, who really misinformed. I ain't trying to work over with them people over there. I ain't trying to do that. I'm this, I'm that. You are sabotaged. I can show you every step in the way how you are sabotaged in this country. Every black person I talk to that do something here in America, do it here, and go do something there, or maybe the Caribbean, but do something. Man, it's growth and expansion. I'm telling you from my own personal experience. I get way more done over there than I ever do here. I'm just telling you my truth. I get so much done in a few days that I'm there versus when I'm here. Because the system isn't set up for us as a people to really win like that. Yeah, we make a headway and we still do something with minimum resources, but we are so sabotaged as black people because we're dealing with a group of people who's been turned over to a reprobate mind. That's why I don't focus on what they do like that. They and the only reason I tell y'all, the only reason I talk about them is because they're affecting us. If they was not affecting us, I wouldn't say a word about them. That wouldn't be nothing I say. But I'm doing this to try to teach my people and also other brothers and sisters who maybe in the African continent who watch us or other countries who watch us. When they come into your country, they not coming over there to be your friend. Especially a lot of my African brothers and sisters. I try to tell you that. All that smiling, oh, they nice, oh, listen, they the best at deception. Oh, they so nice. Oh, they'll dance with you, wear the clothes with you. Oh man, you think they're the nicest people ever, but they plotting the whole time. They plotting on you. And see, what they don't like about us as black Americans, because we already clocked them a long time ago. We know who they are. And a lot of you, not just in the African continent, but even immigrants that come here, you don't listen to Black Americans until you find out the hard way. Then you're like, oh, my brothers, where you at? My sisters, where you are? Why you wouldn't talk about brother and sister back then? Now them folks and got at you and done you something. Now you know. And the funny part is, her brother had made a video on TikTok that was funny. He would say, hey, man. He said, I ain't been seeing them Dominicans talking about, I know Black, I'm Dominican. I sure ain't been hearing that no more ever since Trump got in. I'm like, I started laughing. But the funny part is, I did do a video about that actually on a podcast. Well, this one Dominican sister, you know, she's a sister. She's like, I'm Black. Yeah, I'm Dominican, but I'm Black. She emphasized that she was Black. And you're not going to treat me bad this way or whatever because I'm Black and I got my brothers and sisters. Like, whoa, she's straight Dominican. I guess I'll let me know Black stuff. I guess that's out the window now, huh? I guess everybody getting some right Pan-Africanism. Everybody want to be Black. They say, man, nah, I'm good on that Dominican stuff, man. I'm Black, man. Nah, Yeah. Hold on, that me no Black thing. Hold on, where that girl at? Let me play that first part of that video.
Reminder that Dominicans are not Black. We are not Black, and no matter how much Black Americans cry about it, we are not Black. We will never be Black. Yes, I look Black, but we are not Black. And it's just a reminder to Black Americans who are so pathetically forcing Dominicans to label themselves as Black. We keep telling them we have our own culture. Me no Black, papi. They still force it on us. So just a reminder, Dominicans are not Black.
All right. Yeah, ain't nobody saying that no more. Hey, look, nothing wrong with being Dominican. Nothing. Be Dominican. Please be Dominican. I don't want you to cosplay as us. I want you to be Dominican. But in this system of white supremacy, you're Black. Brother, sister, you're Black. And you're finding out the hard way right now that you're Black. There's one thing about this Trump administration. Ain't letting nobody skate by. You getting told to your face what they think about you. And that part about this, I love. I love it. Listen, I told y'all a long time ago, I love that in your face raw racism. I love that. Because that's the only thing that wake Black folks up globally. It has to be in your face. It can't be that nice smile in your face liberal racism. No. It has to be in your face, disrespectful, gnarling in your face, yelling, acting like a straight savage. That's the only racism that wake Black folk up. And I love it. I love it. Yeah. Trump ain't got no problem telling, he be posting people and I'm like, man, did he really post that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but yeah, it's just like, how he got time to post so much? Aren't the president kind of busy? I just be kind of wondering about that because I mean, man, I have a hard time and I'm not no president. Yeah, that's the issue. You haven't made it to year one of Trump yet. Every day is something different. It's a roller coaster every single day. I know y'all seen the Jimmy Kimmel thing where they didn't like what he said. So the FCC was like, hey, man, y'all either, punish him or get him removed or we go, they threatened him with the FCC license. Now, broadcast networks have to go through the FCC to get a broadcast license. Now, your cable network, you don't have to worry about that. But instead of ABC is standing on business, it's like, okay, take it. We just switch everything to cable. Nope. They let that man go. And he didn't say nothing bad. I said, okay, what did he say? And I looked at what he said. He didn't say nothing bad, and what he said was pretty accurate. But now, Stephen Colbert lost his job too. So now they do, but you know what? That's their problem. That's their business. Because these folks, we've been telling them about the anti-Black racism for a long time. Now they're starting to experience a lot of loss of jobs. You're seeing a lot of white people right now losing their job because they talked about old boy, right? And they just can't believe it. Oh my God. I've seen one guy crash out. He lost his Microsoft job. Ooh, I know he was getting paid good money. He lost his Microsoft job. He's been working at Microsoft for about 8 years. White guy. And he lost his job because of a post he made about old boy. And he didn't say like nothing incendiary. He was like, I don't really care about that dude. He didn't really like everybody, and I didn't like his views, and so I don't care about that. That's kind of okay. That's his opinion. But they got the dude to find out what the dude worked. Find out he worked at Microsoft, and the man lost his job, a good job. Yeah, they just going at each other right now. And like I said, hey, got nothing to do with us. That's why I said, all right, it's enough of even mentioning that dude's name at this point. That's why you keep hearing me say old boy from Turning Point. I don't even want to say his name. Not because I'm worried about them. I ain't got no job for them to go after. But I'm like, he ain't relevant enough. You know, now I've said his name enough when I was talking about his talking points and stuff like that. You know, I mean, but at this point, I tell black people, just don't even mention his name. You know what I'm saying? Don't even play his videos no more. It don't even matter. We got other things to talk about. Yeah, you say the extreme right versus the moderate right. Yeah, they going through all that right now. That's their business. That's their problem. They tearing each other apart. And hey, we just sit down with our popcorn and be like, yeah, y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. I ain't getting involved with it. Because one thing my grandfather always told me, you never get in the middle of white folks arguing. And I asked him why. He said, because he said, if you get in the middle of their arguing, they're going to stop arguing and team up and get you. He said, let them argue, fight, whatever. You just stay away from it. And I followed the wisdom of my black American grandparents who understand this country. I still live by their rules and principles they have taught me even when I was a child. By these folks. Yeah, just call him that, y'all. Call him old boy from Turning Point. That's it. Just call him that. If you're gonna talk about it, don't even mention his name. You know, they worshiping old dude. Do you see videos? They go on to Starbucks, and you know Starbucks asks you what's your name, and they going over there saying old boy's name. And I'm like, really? This is what you're going to do? Like, we didn't go to no Starbucks and be like, my name's George Floyd. Why do we do that crap? I mean, it's so lame. Like, why? Listen, leave them baristas alone. They ain't got nothing to do with y'all. They doing a job. They trying to get people their coffee and all of that. Like bring that listen. The politics in America is so toxic. When I get off this microphone, I usually don't talk a lot of politics to people. Not because I don't know anything, but I just don't. Because I'm like, if you're not in them circles, I don't even want to talk about it with you. Sometimes I just don't want to talk about anything. That's why I tell y'all a lot. I enjoy doing, working with the Afro Wire channel a lot more. Because I ain't got to say a word. The Lasherica and the rest of them can say it. I love it. You get mad at Lasherica, what are you going to do to her? Nothing. You can never fire Lasherica from her job. You never can do that. So, Lasherica will never get her feelings hurt. Never. You won't scare her, ever. So, that's the beauty of AI. Yeah, Laverne. Yeah, they trying to treat old boy like he's some deity now, like he Jesus or something to them. It's like they looking at him like he Jesus. I'm like, what kind of Jesus is that for you? Boy, I would want that kind of figure. But hey, let them do what they do. We got our own stuff going on. As long as they leave us alone, they can do whatever they want to do over there. If they want to go at each other, let them do it. Like I said, I ain't breaking up nothing. I'm sitting there just watching like, man, hey, we all like a good fight sometime, right? So, hey, I'll be watching. I'll be messy and watch. Oh, I'll be messy and watch. Oh, man. All right, y'all. But anyway, let me go ahead on and get off of here. But thank y'all for joining us on the stream tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. Download the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. Like I say, join us at least monthly. You can do quarterly, or you can do annual or lifetime. Lifetime, you never have to worry about the pricing going up. You got it for lifetime, right? But thank y'all for listening. We go ahead and catch y'all